Recognizing spiritual drainage, have you ever woken up feeling that something was off, even after a full night's rest? That fatigue that doesn't seem physical, but rather a heaviness in your soul, as if something were draining your spiritual energy. This is a classic sign that you might be spiritually drained. And if you're feeling this way, know that you're not alone. Many of us, at some point in our spiritual journey, go through phases where we feel disconnected, exhausted, and even lost. But what exactly does it mean to be spiritually drained? It's as if your energy field were unbalanced, perhaps due to negative interaction, accumulated stress, or even from not dedicating enough time to nurture your spiritual connection. Imagine that your energy is like a river. When it flows freely, you feel alive, full of purpose and peace. But when something blocks this flow, the water becomes stagnant, and that's when spiritual drainage begins to manifest. The good news is that, just as a river can be unblocked, your spiritual energy can also be restored. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about throughout this video. You'll discover practical strategies to re-energize yourself, reconnect with your essence, and restore balance to your energy field. But before we dive into solutions, it's important to understand how you got here. After all, recognizing the problem is the first step toward healing. Think about the past few weeks. Were there moments when you felt especially tired after a difficult conversation? Or perhaps you felt that your prayers weren't reaching heaven, as if there were a barrier between you and God. These are important clues. Spiritual drainage often comes from interactions that somehow drain our positive energy, leaving us vulnerable and unprotected. But here's the secret. You have the power to change this. Energy healing begins with awareness and the decision to act. And throughout the next chapters, you'll learn how to do this in a practical and meaningful way. From energy cleansing techniques to daily habits that strengthen your spiritual connection, each step you take will bring you closer to a state of balance and inner peace. So, take a deep breath and prepare to embark on this journey of restoration. Because, in the end, you won't just feel re-energized, but also stronger and better prepared to face life's challenges with a new spiritual perspective. The sources of spiritual drainage. In the previous chapter, we talked about how spiritual drainage can manifest as a deep soul fatigue, a feeling of disconnection, and even a barrier between you and your spiritual connection. But to restore our energy field, we first need to identify where this drainage is coming from. After all, as the saying goes, knowing the problem is half the solution. One of the most common sources of spiritual drainage is negative interaction. Think about the last time you left a conversation or situation feeling exhausted, as if you had lost part of yourself. This happens because when we engage with toxic people or environments, our spiritual energy can be drained, leaving us vulnerable and unbalanced. These interactions can come from critical co-workers, family members who don't respect your boundaries, or even friends who unknowingly project their own frustrations onto you. Another powerful source of drainage is accumulated stress. We live in a fast-paced world where daily demands often leave us with no time to take care of ourselves. We don't dedicate moments to recharge our spiritual batteries. Our energy field can become overloaded, like a phone that's never turned off to rest. And, just like the phone, if we don't recharge, we end up shutting down too. But not all spiritual drainage comes from external sources. Sometimes, we are our own biggest obstacles. Negative thoughts, excessive self-criticism, and lack of self-forgiveness can create blockages in our spiritual energy, preventing it from flowing freely. How many times have you caught yourself ruminating over a past mistake, or blaming yourself for something that wasn't entirely under your control? These mental patterns can be as draining as any external factor. And of course, we can't ignore the impact of spiritual disconnection. When we distance ourselves from practices that nourish our soul, such as prayer, meditation, or studying the Word, our spiritual journey can seem stagnant. It's like trying to drive a car without gas. No matter how much you want to move forward, you simply can't. And this feeling of being stuck in the same place can be extremely draining. But here's the good news. Identifying the sources of spiritual drainage is the first step toward energy healing. By recognizing what's draining your positive energy, you begin to regain control over your energy field. And, in the next chapter, we'll explore practical strategies to protect and restore this energy. so you can flow with life once again. Strategies to protect and restore your spiritual energy. Now that we've identified the sources of spiritual drainage, it's time to take action. How can you protect and restore your energy field so it flows again with vitality and balance? The answer lies in simple but deeply transformative practices that you can incorporate into your daily life. Let's explore some of them. The first strategy is establishing healthy boundaries. This might seem basic, but it's incredibly powerful. Think of your energy field as a garden. If you don't put a fence around it, anyone can enter and step on the flowers. Similarly, without clear boundaries, toxic people and situations can invade your spiritual space, leaving you exhausted. Learning to say no when necessary and prioritizing your well-being isn't selfishness, it's self-care. And as Christians, we know that taking care of ourselves allows us to better care for others. Another essential practice is energy cleansing. Just as we take showers to clean our physical body, we need to cleanse our energy field regularly. A simple way to do this is through prayer and meditation. Set aside a few minutes each day to connect with God, asking Him to renew your spiritual energy and remove any negativity that might be attached to you. Visualize a divine light enveloping your body, purifying every part of your being. This practice not only restores your positive energy, but also strengthens your spiritual connection. Speaking of connection, don't underestimate the power of spiritual community. Being surrounded by people who share your faith and values can be a powerful antidote to spiritual drainage. When we gather with other believers, whether in worship services, Bible study groups, or simply in uplifting conversations, our spiritual energy is strengthened. As the Bible says in Hebrews 10:5, "Let us not give up meeting together, as some are in the habit of doing, but let us encourage one another." Community is a reminder that we're not alone in this spiritual journey. Moreover, it's crucial to cultivate habits that nourish the soul. This includes practices such as gratitude, forgiveness, and contemplation of nature. Keeping a gratitude journal, for example, can help you focus on the blessings in your life rather than fixating on difficulties. And when it comes to forgiveness, remember that forgiving doesn't mean approving what happened, but rather releasing the weight that resentment carries in your energy field. Meanwhile, spending time in nature can be a powerful way to reconnect with God's creation and recharge your spiritual energy. Finally, don't forget the importance of rest. In a world that values productivity above all else, it's easy to neglect rest. But even Jesus, in the midst of his ministry, withdrew to quiet places to pray and rest. Luke 5:16. Sigar mistawait fry go. Rest isn't a luxury, it's a spiritual necessity. Set aside moments to slow down, get enough sleep, and simply be instead of do. As you implement these strategies, you'll begin to notice a change in your energy field. The feeling of heaviness and fatigue will give way to a renewed sense of peace and vitality. And in the next chapter, we'll explore how you can deepen this energy healing further through specific spiritual growth practices. Spiritual growth practices for a balanced life. In the previous chapter, we explored practical strategies to protect and restore your spiritual energy, from establishing healthy boundaries to cultivating soul-nourishing habits. Now, let's dive into specific spiritual growth practices that not only help heal drainage, but also strengthen your spiritual connection in a deep and lasting way. These practices are like exercises for the soul. The more you practice them, the stronger and more resilient your energy field becomes. The first practice is contemplative prayer. Different from traditional prayer, where we talk to God, contemplative prayer is about listening. Set aside a few minutes in silence, allowing your mind and heart to calm down. Imagine yourself sitting in God's presence, unhurried, without an agenda. Let Him speak to you through the quietness. This practice not only renews your spiritual energy, but also deepens your intimacy with the divine. It's like recharging a battery directly from the source. Another powerful practice is meditative Bible study. Instead of just reading Bible passages, try meditating on them. Choose a verse or story that resonates with you and reflect on its meaning in your current life. Ask yourself, what is God trying to tell me through this? This approach transforms Bible study from an intellectual activity into a deep spiritual experience, nourishing your spiritual growth and strengthening your spiritual connection. Creative visualization can also be an incredibly powerful tool. Close your eyes and imagine yourself wrapped in divine light, cleaning and purifying your energy field. Visualize this light filling every cell of your body, bringing peace, healing, and renewal. You can even imagine future situations where you feel full of positive energy and aligned with your spiritual purpose. Visualization isn't just a relaxation technique, it's a way to program your mind and spirit for energy healing. Additionally, consider incorporating the practice of forgiveness into your spiritual routine. Forgiveness is one of the most liberating acts we can perform, but also one of the most challenging. Take time to reflect on relationships or situations that still carry weight in your heart. In prayer, declare your desire to forgive, even if you don't fully feel it yet. Forgiveness doesn't happen overnight, but each step in that direction releases an immense burden from your energy field, allowing spiritual energy to flow freely. Another transformative practice is serving others. When we give of ourselves to help someone, whether through an act of kindness, volunteering, or simply listening with empathy, we experience a profound sense of purpose and connection. This not only strengthens our spiritual journey, but also reminds us that we're part of something greater. As Matthew 25:40 says, "Whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me." Serving is a powerful way to realign our spiritual energy with Christ's love and compassion. Finally, don't underestimate the power of spiritual rest. In a world that values productivity, it's easy to neglect rest as a spiritual practice. But rest is an act of faith. It's trusting that the world won't fall apart if you pause for a moment. Set aside one day per week, or even just a few hours, to disconnect from the world's demands and simply be. Use this time to pray, meditate, read, or simply appreciate God's presence. This intentional rest is essential for keeping your energy field balanced and renewed. By incorporating these practices into your life, you not only heal spiritual drainage, but also build a solid foundation for continuous spiritual growth. And in the next chapter, we'll explore how you can apply these practices to specific daily situations, transforming challenges into opportunities to strengthen your faith and positive energy. Transforming challenges into spiritual opportunities. In the previous chapter, we explored powerful spiritual growth practices that can help restore and strengthen your energy field. Now, let's take these practices to the next level by applying them to specific daily situations. Because the truth is that life doesn't stop and challenges keep arising. But what if, instead of seeing these challenges as obstacles, you saw them as opportunities to strengthen your faith and spiritual energy? Let's start with a common situation: interpersonal conflicts. Whether at work, home, or even church, disagreements can be a major source of spiritual drainage. But what if, instead of reacting with anger or frustration, you used these moments as an opportunity to practice forgiveness and compassion? Remember that each person who crosses your path is a reflection of God. Even when acting difficult, by choosing to respond with love and patience, you not only protect your positive energy, but also transform conflict into an opportunity for spiritual growth. Another common challenge is work stress. Tight deadlines, excessive demands, and competitive environments can quickly drain your spiritual energy. But what if you transformed your workplace into a field for spiritual practice? Start the day with a brief prayer or meditation, asking God to guide your actions and protect your peace. During the day, take short breaks to breathe deeply and reconnect with your spiritual connection. And at the end of the day, set aside a few minutes to reflect on what went well and what can be improved. This approach transforms work into an extension of your spiritual journey rather than a source of drainage. And what about personal crises? Illnesses, financial losses, or family problems can shake even the strongest faith. But amid the storm, there's an opportunity to deepen your trust in God. Remember that He didn't promise a life without challenges, but He promised to be with us every step of the way. Use these difficult moments to hold on to divine promises, meditating on verses like Isaiah 41. "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right." And this practice not only renews your spiritual energy, but also strengthens your resilience. Another challenging situation is comparison and envy. In a world where social media shows only people's best moments, it's easy to feel insufficient or resentful. But what if you transform that comparison into gratitude? Instead of focusing on what's missing, celebrate the blessings you already have. Keep a gratitude journal, writing down 3 things you're grateful for every day. This simple practice can change your perspective, realigning your energy field with God's abundance. Finally, let's talk about loneliness. Even surrounded by people, we can feel alone, especially when our spiritual connection seems weak. But loneliness can be an opportunity to reconnect with God in a deeper way. Use these moments to immerse yourself in spiritual practices like prayer, meditation, and Bible study. And remember that you're never truly alone. God is always by your side, ready to fill your heart with His presence. By transforming these challenges into spiritual opportunities, you not only protect your spiritual energy, but also strengthen your faith and ability to face any situation with grace and resilience. And in the next chapter, we'll explore how you can create a personal plan to maintain your energy field balanced and vibrant, even amid life's ups and downs. Creating a personal plan to maintain your spiritual energy balanced. We've reached the final chapter of this journey, and now it's time to put everything into practice. Throughout the previous chapters, we explored how to recognize spiritual drainage, identify its sources, protect and restore your energy field, and transform challenges into opportunities for spiritual growth. Now, let's create a personal plan that you can follow to maintain your spiritual energy balanced and vibrant, even amid life's ups and downs. The first step is to evaluate your current routine. Take a moment to reflect on how you've been caring for your spiritual connection. How much time do you dedicate to prayer, meditation, or Bible study? Which practices energize you the most and which leave you exhausted? This self-assessment is crucial for identifying areas that need adjustment and establishing realistic goals. Next, define spiritual priorities. Just as you schedule meetings and work commitments, set specific times for spiritual practices. It might be a morning prayer time, a midday meditation break, or Bible study before bed. The important thing is that these practices become an integral part of your routine, like a non-negotiable commitment to your spiritual well-being. Another essential aspect of your plan is establishing energy cleansing rituals. This may include practices such as visualizing divine light, enveloping your body, saying protection prayers before bed, or using positive affirmations to strengthen your energy field. Find what works best for you and incorporate these rituals into your daily life. Remember that energy cleansing isn't a luxury, it's a necessity to keep your spiritual energy flowing. Additionally, cultivate a mindset of gratitude and forgiveness. Keep a gratitude journal, writing down 3 things you're grateful for each day. And when hurts or resentments arise, practice forgiveness as an act of liberation. These practices not only strengthen your spiritual connection, but also help keep your energy field free from blockages. Another important component of your plan is creating a spiritual support network. Connect with people who share your faith and values, whether through Bible study groups, online communities, or in-person meetings. Having a support network not only strengthens your spiritual journey, but also provides a safe space to share challenges and celebrations. Finally, evaluate and adjust your plan regularly. Life is always in flux, and what works today might need adjustments tomorrow. Set aside time, perhaps once a month, to reflect on what's working and what can be improved. Be open to trying new practices and letting go of those that no longer serve your purpose. By following this plan, you not only maintain your spiritual energy balanced, but also create a solid foundation for continuous spiritual growth. And remember, this journey isn't about perfection, but about progress. Each small step you take toward caring for your spiritual connection is a step toward a more fulfilling and meaningful life. We've reached the end of this video, but this is just the beginning of your journey of spiritual restoration and strengthening. I hope the strategies and practices shared here can guide you in moments of spiritual drainage and inspire you to seek a deeper and more authentic spiritual connection. If this content resonated with you, share it with someone who might also benefit from these reflections. And don't forget to leave a comment below telling us which practice you'll incorporate first into your routine. Together, we can support each other on this spiritual journey, strengthening our faith and positive energy. Until the next video, where we'll continue exploring themes that inspire, transform, and elevate our connection with the divine. May God bless you and guide you in every step of the way. Amen.